Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, me and Josh are having a little look into each team and deciding our top 5 driver pairings. Who do you think it could be? It could be Mercedes, it could be Red Bull, it could even be Haas. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and I hope you enjoy the video.
What's your number 5?
My number 5. I've gone for Aston Martin.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they're good as a team, shall we say, sort of. I wouldn't say there's any major issues. So, like, Alonso's quite good in the sense of he's obviously an older figurehead. He's the oldest on the grid, isn't
Yeah.
he? Yeah. So, you know.
Then second to Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Hamilton's 39, isn't he? Something like that.
Yeah.
39. So, yeah, I've gone for them only because I feel like Alonso's quite good. He's probably quite teachable towards Stroll. Obviously, there's a lot of controversy around Stroll, and you know exactly why he has his seat, and we've all heard it, and we all know why, roughly ish. I mean, he's not a bad driver. He's not. He's better than the rest, but
he's okay, but he's inconsistent.
Yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, there's some races where he's brilliant, and he's knocking on the door of the top sort of 5 or 6 maybe, but
yeah,
I'd say as a unit, they probably work better than anybody else below. And it was quite tight between Aston Martin and Visa, Red Bull, Cash App, Mastercards,
Lola.
Please, yeah, the longest and the worst name, I think.
In history.
Well, I don't know, the Mastercard Lola team. Not
That's,
name.
yeah. I'll give them away same only because Visa, Cash App, RB, is actually an okay team.
Yeah, I mean,
and I think Mastercard Lola did like 2 races.
I think we should just all start calling him RB2 from now on, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Anyway, like that news coverage has been covered about 1 billion times by 1 million different channels. So
just a bit.
Yeah, there was a lot of outreach. Just dip your toe into X or whatever, and yeah, you'll find the anger.
Literally.
Mine was restrained whilst tweeting about it. Yeah, it was there.
Yeah. I'll let mine out a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but yeah, no, I've gone for Aston Martin. Yeah, I just think as a unit, maybe a little bit better than Ricciardo and Tsunoda, because you haven't really seen Tsunoda soften up too much. Obviously, when Drive to Survive comes out, you might see it behind the scenes. He might soften up a little bit more than, he's just a bit robotic, is the way I would describe him. Robotic and angry.
Yeah.
You don't overly see a majorly fun side of him. He's just very, he's very in on himself, isn't he? Like he's not antisocial much. He's just quiet.
Apart from his,
except for when he's screaming over the radio at whoever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say that's why I've put Aston Martin up above them. But to be fair, it started becoming between like 5th, 4th was quite tight. 5th and 6th was quite tight for me. It's just, yeah. I mean, who have you gone for 5th?
I think it's the first time we agreed all video. 5th, I've got Aston Martin.
I think it is actually, yeah. It must be. 9th and 10th. Yeah.
I think it's basically mostly the same points you had. My main concern is Stroll. Like you said, he's proved over the years he can have his good moments, like getting pole in Turkey, but he just is way too inconsistent. He just can't keep the pace up. He's okay. Literally, the only thing that keeps Aston above the rest of the teams is Alonso.
Oh, Alonso last season was on something else.
Yeah. You put him in a race-winning car, he's up there. He's flying.
Yeah, I mean, there was major talks of him possibly going on and winning the championship, wasn't there? So,
yeah. So, go on, we'll move on to number 4. Anyway. Here's your number 4 in your angry little manner.
Alpine. Weirdly enough.
Okay, go on, yeah.
Yeah, Alpine. I just think okay, of course they've got the history, but I'd say they're quite equal. Like, yeah, they might not be
Yeah,
the best friends, and they're not like walking around holding hands or anything, but you know, um, as a team, they sort of push each other, and I think that sort
yeah,
of dislike for each other over the years is probably actually quite helpful and beneficial for both of them. And I think that's why maybe they were brought in. Is they might probably bicker and stuff like that behind the scenes. Again, you never know, and they might have that slight hatred in a way. But I think it pushes the other one because the other one then wants to do better. I mean, they didn't have an absolute standout season or anything, like they just had a
no,
pretty mediocre one, if I'm being honest. But they do seem to sort of push each other. It's not a case of I don't think you could tell either of them, oh yeah, you need to keep the other one ahead for whatever reason because they're just going to want to race each other. They want
yeah,
to beat the other one, and to me, that's quite a good relationship to have. You want to be fighting the other one. This is why I think Red Bull were further down than I'd originally put them because while Perez might want to try and beat Verstappen doesn't want anybody else in front of him. It's not
no.
like he wants to fight. It's I'm better than you. Stay behind me. It's probably not that, but you know what I mean. It just from an
You think
outside.
that's a fair point to actually put across because Suzuka last year, can't remember which one it was either Gazzy or Ocon was asked to be moved aside so
Yeah,
to let one of the others through, and they were arguing with the team about it. They were not happy at all, but
yeah,
they did it.
yeah,
So like Max, they do argue, they don't get on, but they do it for the team.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know if maybe the Red Bull dynamic is starting to break apart, and that's why I've put them so low in comparison to Alpine. Alpine, it
Yeah,
might be in case you might come back this year, and the dynamic between the two of them just starts to fall apart, and you start seeing more of an issue. And I think that first season was more of a case of them both trying to prove that they can get along. I think this year might be the year where we see either more of a rivalry and more heated sort of situations between the two of them, or it could just be the right combination.
hope it
I
is.
gone.
I say hope it is because they're both really good drivers.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and I actually do rate both of them. Gasly more than Ocon, but we have all got
Yeah,
our preferences amongst
that's true.
teammates. Try not to. If you've got number 4, and if you say McLaren, you've been ousted as a McLaren fanboy. So go
Why? Because Lando Norris's number.
on. Yeah, there was that too. Yeah, you could put them
No, see, I'd be a lot nicer to Red Bull than you. I
there.
went
Okay.
fourth. No, so again, main reason Max is world champion, 3 titles in a row. 2021 didn't exist, right? No, but 3 titles in a row, and I said this in 2021 as well. He was a better driver than during 2021. He
Yeah.
just shouldn't have won it in that way. Uh, but yeah, Max he's unreal. He's the best driver in the grid at the minute.
Yeah.
He's nearly unstoppable. Perez is what's holding him back for me. Perez, he is okay. His start the season, he proved that Saudi Arabia can win a race.
Yeah.
Where
For
else
sure.
did he win? He won 2, didn't he, to start the season?
Yeah. Yeah.
Saudi
It was.
Arabia and
Can't remember what the other one was now. But yeah, he did win a
it was
couple at the
another
beginning.
street track, I think. But it
Yeah.
all went downhill for Perez from Miami onwards.
Yeah.
Max definitely needed back the pack because of penalties or something like a crash in qualifying happened or something like that. Perez starts on pole. He still can't win the race.
Yeah. Yeah.
Literally, Max passed him on like lap 38 or something like that. Like, he still cannot win the race. But Max needed a back to pack. He's good, but when Lewis is Townsend in a car that was sometimes fourth best last year, nearly beat it to second in the championship. Yeah. He's not a bad driver, but he's not what Red Bull need.
No. No, it's true. Yeah. It's just.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
I can talk about that dynamic all day long. can be honest. I could talk about them for hours, but that would be a boring video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, I think this is where it gets close now, though, and heated. I know we've both had trouble with our top three.
Yeah.
We just could not decide. But go on.
No.
Who have you ended up squeezing into third place?
I put Ferrari.
Okay.
It was very, very, very tight, but it was signs.
Okay, go on.
It's just signs. Don't get me wrong; they've got quite a good relationship, and I think all the top three do have very good relationships off track as well as they do on track.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to compare it to just the two drivers, but when you get down to this, it's very fine margins, and I think Ferrari messed the two of them up so badly last season. It was ridiculous. It was just every single race. It was, bad calls and stupid decisions, and bringing them in at the wrong times after everybody else. It just let them down. But as a two, it's just tight. And I think that, say, McLaren got a better two. I'll get into them in a way. And I think Mercedes have got better too. It is just, we're talking.
It's minuscule, like the margins between these three teams are so close.
It's just like that one little tiny decision between each. That's it. It's almost impossible to make the top three. On a different day, it would have been a different top three. It would be still those three. It'd just be moved around.
Literally, I'm still looking at my top three now. I'm still debating, do I just switch it last second? Like, it's that tight.
I switched it just then.
Have you?
Yeah, I looked at it and I went, I'm still debating on my top two.
You know what? I've just switched it right now.
Who have you gone for number three?
So, my third place, I literally had Ferrari 2 seconds ago.
Okay.
It's now McLaren.
Ooh!
There's one reason I keep thinking back to. Maybe two, actually, now it pops in. Right, Lando, we know he's got the pace.
Yep.
This context why McLaren third. Lando's got the pace.
Mm-hmm.
He has made the minuscule mistakes in qualifying, but that could be because he was pushing the car too far. So if he has the car this year, that might not happen. Same with Leclerc last year. It's Oscar. Don't get wrong, great driver, absolutely superb driver, and has potential to be a world champion. His race pace just isn't there yet. Just yet.
He's definitely
Hungary proved that last season.
Yeah.
Qatar last season, sprint race, Oscar was superb. Who's against a full length race? Lando just has that bit more experience, and it's when you compare them to Ferrari again, Sainz has a better race pace than Oscar. Just right now.
Yeah. I mean, he does have a better race pace. He's probably got that little bit more experience as well, obviously. I mean, the Ferrari, I wouldn't say was that much better than the McLaren towards the end of the season. McLaren just found something out of nowhere. And I say out of nowhere, obviously they planned upgrades, but they
magicians.
Yeah, it's saying that we'll talk about Ferrari and McLaren anyway, because my second is McLaren, and again like that, and it's not because I love Mercedes, not at all. It's the same sort of reasons as you, as it's the second driver is the issue, or who obviously say us fans would consider the second driver out of the two.
Yeah.
It's just very fine margins.
Literally.
I think that Piastri's got a higher ceiling than Sainz. Personally.
Yeah. But this season, that's what I need to think about. That's what was in my mind. Maybe it was next season, I'd switch it around.
Yeah.
This season, for me.
I think if it gets to the end of the season, obviously all the drivers stay the same. Obviously, let's hope they actually do for once.
Like last season, actually.
I think we'll probably look back at it, and if Piastri actually does that bit better, I reckon that McLaren could probably end up being top, be number one. Like in terms of our listings,
Yeah.
I think Piastri needs to put his head down this season and pull a Lando, basically, actually start to concentrate a little bit more and focus in on trying to win races, trying to get as many points as possible. I could see outside shot McLaren possibly finishing top three. I don't see Red Bull possibly even being in the top three in terms of constructors this season. I reckon they might drop off a little bit.
Well, that's a bit. Oh no, I don't see that.
It could happen.
I
Imagine
don't see.
you come back, you see this video, and you come back. No, you were right. I think they're not going to be number one. I don't think they're going to be number two. It'll probably be a fight for number three.
See, we can
Argue about that.
we can do a list of constructor champions at a later date. But right now, McLaren are very confident, already announcing their car first. No, at the time of recording, no one else has released their car. So McLaren have done it a good 3 weeks before anyone else. They're confident. They have a car that's top three. Red Bull are not going to drop off that much. It'll be closer, but I can't see them dropping off that much.
I could see a bit of a drop off. I think if what Ferrari have said about their car this season, that it's a whole second and a half quicker. I don't know what track that's at, but if that's just.
But does that second half quicker bring up to Red Bull pace from last year?
Yeah, easily.
So Red Bull have then moved on from that, though.
Have they though?
Probably. Remember, they could start, but in March last year, couldn't they?
Yeah, but they would be affected by all the stuff that they got hit with. Like I say, all the stuff that they got hit with.
No, that affected last year's car. Doesn't affect this year's car.
How that affected last year's car?
It didn't. That's the point. The wind tunnel penalty was for last year. It was for the last year's car. It isn't for this year's car.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. No. Fair enough. Colouring wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what? We won't know, and even then, we can look at testing at the end of February, and we're still not going to know. It's literally
probably
qualifying at Bahrain. That's when we will know, because
literally
you won't see any difference between now and then. Mercedes could be bottom of the pile with Ferrari, McLaren, and Red Bull during testing, during practice.
Yeah.
Day pace. It's race day pace. That's what you need.
Literally.
So yeah, I'm guessing that your number two is going to end up being Ferrari then.
Yeah, I haven't changed number two. Well, I haven't changed number 1, 2. Number 2 is Ferrari.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, all the points you just outlined. Leclerc's got the pace. We just know how good he is. He has actually the same issues as Lando though. He outdrives the car.
Oh, yeah.
Doing those little mistakes in qualifying, etc. Sainz is literally the reason that they beat McLaren for me. Is because Sainz just has that inherent race experience.
Yeah.
His qualifying is probably a little bit worse than Piastri, but his race pace is a lot better. For now, it will get better. But for now, Sainz is just a bit better than Piastri.
Okay.
And that's the only reason that Ferrari ahead of McLaren for me. The only reason.
But if you had to pick favourites, I'm guessing McLaren would be above Ferrari.
Look, Ferrari's an amazing team. I love Ferrari. A great heritage. Do you don't need to know I'm a McLaren fanboy already?
I mean, I've put Mercedes on top, but
right. So I'm guessing you got to say number 1 then.
Yeah. I mean, what's your reasoning for going for Mercedes? I'm surprised at that, to be honest.
For Mercedes, you look at the whole team. Russell has such a high ceiling. Don't get me wrong. His season last year wasn't the best, but it was still decent.
Oh yeah.
His first season, he beat Lewis.
Yeah.
Lewis probably should have beaten him overall, but he still beat a 7-time world champion. he is a world champion quality driver. He's got the race pace. He's got the qualifying pace. He's got the whole package. If he can just...
He's got everything. Yeah, he's got everything he needs to be.
I was about to say, I forgot about he crashed a lot, didn't he?
Well, yeah, he did. I mean, he beat Lewis in the head-to-head. He didn't beat Lewis in terms of points.
No.
Lewis had the consistency.
Whereas Lewis, he still got it. Nearly coming second in a car that was sometimes fourth best on the grid. He still has it. It's actually unreal how quick he still is.
Yeah.
And I think you give him the right car, he's an 8-time world champion. He just needs the right car.
To be honest, I hope they bring it this season. I really do.
Same.
Not just from Mercedes' point of view, you know, me being who, you know, yeah, you know, just I just hope that their car's good enough. It doesn't have the same sort of issues it was having last season. I mean, it started porpoising at one point. You know, like again.
I know, going back to the porpoising.
Oh no, yeah, it's went backwards. Oh, we're not meant to call it porpoising, are we? But
how do you call it now, then?
I don't know. I don't know what they wanted us to call it in the end. They just said, "Oh, it's not porpoising." But at one point,
Wiggle well.
Yeah. They just called it the wobbles. Yeah, the shakes.
The wobble going into turn one, yeah.
Yeah. That'll make it better. You know, I think you get a lot more people watching then.
Very informative to the audience there. And Lewis is wobbling into turn one.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think as a combination, you've got a 7-time world champion, and you've got someone with, again, a high ceiling. You know, like,
yeah,
George will be a champion at some point.
Yeah,
it's as long as it's during, you know, whilst he's starting to rise. I think give him the car, give him the backing. You know, Lewis at some point is going to need to become number 2 for George to be able to, you know, progress, because otherwise George might need to look somewhere else. And you know, I think they need to go all out for Lewis this season, get him number 8, and then start looking at George. Personally, because I think George is the future for Mercedes as it is. I don't know who the number 2 to George would be. It'd probably be someone we don't even know yet, in a sense.
What do you mean?
I don't know.
Never know.
We haven't really seen enough of him in a good enough car.
Yeah.
He was okay in the house. You know, he did what he could.
True.
But yeah, I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen Mick enough. You know, everybody knows who his dad is. And he's just got a lot on him. You know, obviously, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes for Mick. So,
true.
You know, so yeah, there's not enough news on Michael, to be honest. We don't.
Well, to be fair, Mick, I think, has just joined the Le Mans team for the Alpine one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not Le Mans, endurance team. I do apologise. He's just joined the Alpine endurance team.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
So he's still with Mercedes.
Yeah.
He's just doing that in the background.
Well, yeah, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, if you're just a backup driver, you might as well do something outside. You know, obviously he does probably do a lot behind the scenes for Mercedes. You know, testing the cars and stuff. But you do something, wouldn't you? You go and do something else as well. We might as well, as long as he's not putting himself at risk in case, you know, God forbid, Lewis or George get injured.
Very true.
Yeah, you know, anything can happen, obviously. But yeah, no, I've just gone with Mercedes at the top. I think they've got a good 2. I think they've got a good 3, possibly. You know, 2 people that would heavily look up to Hamilton, and Hamilton's probably the right kind of person to guide them. You know, he's done a lot in his life, been through a lot, and you know, does a lot as well.
Yeah. Can't leave that out.
Not enough. He does a massive amount for F1 as a whole. And you know, he's an absolute icon of the sport.
So, he is.
Yeah.
Question.
Sorry, Max.
Probably unfair to Russell.
What's that?
Is Lewis had won the championship in 2021.
Yeah.
Would Russell have won it If he won the World Championship, but would he have done a lot better than he is doing now? Because I think
I think we're in the
he
same boat.
expected to be number one by now.
Of course he did, but
He didn't expect Lewis to still be there.
I think the issue right now is the fact that I think Mercedes as a whole probably feel like they owe it to
Yeah.
them after last season. You know, it's one of those, isn't it? I think they push again this season. Hopefully the car's right this time. They don't go for any of this zero side pod stuff.
I was going to say the rumour is they're going back to zero pod. That's the rumour.
Oh no.
Yeah, I know.
It didn't work from last time, so unless they've managed to make a good change and it actually works this time and it functions properly on a track,
Hopefully.
it could be if they get it right, it could be an absolute, revolution, and everybody else will be caught on the back foot. It'll be like, Red Bull from last season.
Or Braun from 2009.
Yeah. If they get it right, they could be out in front and no one's catching them.
Yeah.
And especially with Lewis behind the wheel. I think it will be a case of George would give up first place just to make sure that Lewis gets the points to win his 8th and probably final Grand Prix. His final, champion.
He's won 8 Grand Prix in his whole history.
Yeah, he's only won 8. Yeah, somehow won some championships. Actually, do. There's more this a year. That's what it is. I reckon they pushed. If they get the car right, they'll be miles ahead. And I think George will be like, look, let's get him the 8th, and I reckon then Hamilton will probably either go and be number 2 for a year, and then take his little sabbatical that he wants to take, or he will then just retire. Basically, that's what he's going to end up doing, really, isn't it?
See, I think if he wins his 8th, he's gone. Yeah. I thought he was gone in 2021. I thought after that season he'd be gone.
I thought that too.
Not because he lost, because I thought he was about to win his 8th.
I thought we were about to see history in the making. First 8-time winner, and at the same time a retirement.
Yeah.
And with all the hijinks supposed hijinks of Red Bull and all the rest of the stuff going on behind the scenes, that messed it up for him, I think. And
before it sounds harsh, we know it's all a hard job, the FAA and all this. We know it is.
Yeah, no, of course we understand, and it was just a horrible watch. It really was.
Yeah.
It was, I couldn't look at the screen. And then when Verstappen went through on Hamilton, I couldn't even be in the room. I was that annoyed. Not because it was Mercedes, not because it was Hamilton. It was just the wrong decision, majorly. Yeah. It was a mess up and a half.
Well, it broke the whole FAA rulebook. You have to add a new rule, a new wording into the FAA rulebook just so it could never happen again.
Sometimes it takes these kind of things, doesn't it? It takes massive mess ups for things to change.
That is true.
I'll video on that. There is a video on that. One of them, anyway, with tyres. So give that a watch. Shameless plug. But yeah. Anyway, I think we've covered it all. I think we've pretty much covered the entire history of F1 as well whilst we were there.
Literally.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, thank you for watching. And I hope you enjoyed it. We will try and bring you another video soon. Fingers crossed. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And I've been Jack. It's been Josh, unfortunately.
Hey.
Yeah, and we're really bad F1. So yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit us on all our other socials.
So, make a toaster with the logo and put it on toast.
Yeah, just do anything, put it up on your bedroom wall. Yeah, just, whatever. Anyway, we'll see you later. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.